Okay, here we are. Guys, finger crossed about the connection. These days is a mess. Last week I even dropped the connection. I was not even able to make the live. What happened to the webcam? Stabilize. I hope today it's more stable because I made a lot of stuff and I want to talk with you. I want to share with you and make one tutorial about the resin printer. In the last days, let me check the connection here. In the last days, I work a lot with the resin printer. Because I just bought a new printer, the new generation of printer. So I really would like to share to you my impression. So let me check 1 second if it starts. I need to see if the connection is good, is stable, so make some test. Okay, this looks good, perfect. Okay, so come back here, perfect. So 10 days ago, I just decided and bought the new printer, resin printer of Anycubic, the M5S. I think is a big step forward according to the normal resin printer that we have until now. More or less, it's the same gap that we have from the Prusa or Creality that we used before and the Bamboo Lab or V400. Very high efficient printer. This print, it can print super fast with the hair resin, it's resin, but also with the normal resin, and has some nice feature such as the out of bed level 3 is the first consumer printer that you don't have anymore to adjust the knobs and level the bed every time. It's all automatic by pressure force. Every time the bed go to touch the FEP, it will level the bed himself automatically, and so far it works perfectly. Also, it can auto check, I don't know how, if you have enough resin, always with this pressure system. So before start the print, it will make some tests, checking if the bed is level by himself, and also it will check if you have enough resin. If you don't have enough resin, it will send a message and ask to pour more resin. So you don't have any more the problem that you finish the resin during the print and fail the printing. And also can detect, this one I didn't try, if there is some failure. So if he find that it's not printing good, it will stop himself. Likely it didn't never happen until now, so this one I don't know how it's working. And also what else he can do, he can check the FEP automatically if it's still good or not. Yes, if you use the basic resin until now only with any cubic resin, but will upgrade with any resin probably. It can check with intelligence mode only using photon slicer, the slicer of the Anycubic. He can check if how to make the correct exposure of every layer. So you don't have to select any more one exposure, but every time he print one layer, it will check automatically according to the pressure, according how big, I don't know how it's making, but he can change. I tried with a basic resin and of eSUN and Anycubic, tried to print 2 models and without set any exposure, it make all automatically and come out perfectly. So first one, I want to talk about the speed. The speed of this new printer is insane, is totally insane. Normally for print one model on the frozen 8K, I spend like for every bed, full bed at 0.05 from 19 to 27 hours. With this print, you can print full size bed in 2.5 hours with a fast resin or 5 hours with a normal resin. Now I want to show you something, and after we start with the tutorial of each box and how to add the resin printer, in this case the M5S, and the basic option how to work. For example, the first model that I print, it was this one. See how big it is. This one is print except the head that I print 0.05, I print at 0.1 because this printer can print at 0.1 very, very good. And look, now I know that with the webcam you cannot see clearly all the details, but you have all the texture. The gap here is fine issue, it's not the printer. This cape is so thin, look, I can even see transparent almost. I was afraid it cannot print so fast, but this one is 0.1, the head is 0.05, and look, the legs, you see how taller are they? He printed in 1 hour. The bust, the chest here, 45 minutes. 45 minutes for this big part here. And in 10 days, webcam, okay, in 10 days, I was able to print so many models that usually I spend 1 month for print all of them. Most of them are models from Sanix because I love his work. This pattern is amazing. Their file is always perfect. They arrive already sliced with the supported with the support oriented the hallway, so you just need to open your slicer, slice, and it works perfectly. And I was able to print in few hours this one, Mystic from the X-Men. I print this one, Iron Widow. This is for the last month reward of his pattern. Already 3. 4. Gollum, just printed this morning. Look at the base, all resin. This one, this is huge, Thundercats. This is a cartoon when I was younger. This is 0.5 print in few hours, 3 hours probably. Look, an image to print something so big, so clear in only 3 hours. And I'm using normal resin now. I'm not using any fast resin for this one. All the details are crispy, are good enough. After I print a boost from Mystery Maker. It looks like Game of Thrones, but it's dark mode. It's difficult to see. They have all the pattern here on the head are not very visible. I thought it was a problem of the printer that it doesn't print very clear the lines on the head. So I reprint with a frozen 8K and came out exactly the same. So it's the file that it doesn't have a very good contrast on the head. It's very difficult to see the lines. After I print from your studio MK smoke knife or from all resin, and from Nico Industry, this one, the first time that I print is here. No, it's also broken for an accident. It happened. I print 2 years ago with an E-Cubic Mono X. 3 years ago, it took like 27 hours for print. I reprinted this one 4 hours. 4 hours to print, and you can see all the detail are nice and crispy. This printer is very fast and work with every resin, even with the eSUN or any brand, and it's really, really good. I was printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the Crash Bandicoot and some small head that they use as exposure test. Almost 12 model. I spent 3 kilograms of resin, almost 4, in 9 days. Is amazing. Okay, so now it's time to check a little bit the settings. So I become smaller, and here we open new project, our cheat box. In this case, I'm using the Pro version because I have the Pro version. From the basic one, I just add few options that we will not see today, and some layout is a little bit different, but almost all the options are the same. The first one, when you open Cheat Box, you need to add your model, your printer. In this case here, I have add machine. On the basic one is here, add machine. Here you have all the major brand of resin printer. And with the last update, they included also from Anycubic the M5S, this one. So after you apply, you have your printer here. This one remove because I already have. You have your printer, Anycubic Mono M5S. Here is my frozen. You see the bed is the same size, just a little bit, maybe half inch, half millimeter shorter. It's not as tall as the frozen, it's shorter. Here you have the profile of the resin. On the frozen I have a lot with the resin eSUN that I'm using. And here are the settings. 0.05, 3.4 exposition. Bottom layer, this one is wrong because I use the bed, flex bed, normally it's like this one. It's a standard profile. It's quite slow because I usually print something big, taller and big, but works perfectly. Here you have some profile and difference with M5, but for slicing in the end, I will suggest to use Photon. We will see later. So after you add your printer, it's time to add your file. Here you have new project or open project, and here open and recently open. The difference is when you need to open a file, you just need to use open. If you open a project is a bunch of files that you already prepare all together in a bed. For example, when I import a project from Sanix that is already with all the supports. Let me show to you. Sanix Iron Widow, you see, is box file. When you open a project, you have all the file already prepared as the makers did. In this case, already oriented, supported, and hollowed. That's why I love Sanix. Open instead, you just open the single file and you add by yourself. So here, Crash Bandicoot. So after you open the file, we need to start a new project, otherwise all. After we open our files, you're still working, yes. Okay, let me close. After we open our files, Box, it will scan it and advise if there is some error on the files. If it finds some file has some problem, it will ask to repair. I suggest don't repair with Box Basic or Pro. Not because it making better, but because there is the 3D builder that it make better and is free. So every time you need to open a file, remember, open with 3D builder, that is a free file. If there is some problem, here you will have one warning. You click and we will repair. And it works perfectly. So remember, every time you need to print something, open with 3D builder, check if it's okay, good. If it needs to be repaired, just repairing, saving, and open again. After we have our file, first one is to understand if some file need to be hollowed or not. What does it mean, hollowed? It means that we make empty inside. Now, if you see this Crash Bandicoot here, if you go down, you see it's full. It's meaning that every layer it will use all the resin for close all the part and block. It will consume a lot of resin, make the parts much heavier, and consume tons of resin. So what we usually need to do when is a model like this one is to hollow the file. Here on prepare, we have all the tools for preparing our file to split the model. If the model they are connected each others, and the tag, this one you don't have on the basic one. Here hollowing. When you hollow, normally is already set up to 2 millimeter the wall thickness. I suggest don't go lower, always make 2 or 2.5. If you apply, now the software, it will empty everything that is inside, and our Crash Bandicoot it become empty, hollow. See, it's totally empty. The good to have this one is that inside you don't need to waste all the resin for close all the layer, so it will consume less material, and also it will be more light. It's meaning that it has less chance to fall down from the bed when you are printing. For after you hollow the file anyway, you have to do one more thing. You need to give some holes, because if you are printing like this one, meanwhile that the file it goes, start to print, all the resin that are inside, it will be trapped inside. It cannot go outside, and that is not good, because if it's like this one, after a while the resin they will start to go outside, crack the model and break it. We need to make some hole that it can help the resin to go outside. So we can dig holes, and we can put the holes always something on the top, so near the bed for prevent ejection, so to give some air, and some hole on the end where the resin has to flow out. Normally you need to try to hide as much as you can the hole, like you can make here under the arm, so it's not very visible on the model. Don't put like the hole like this one on the face of the poor Crash, because after you will have the hole here or here. It's too deep, he cannot pass. Try to hide. For example, in my model I put here, and you can put also one on the back. Normally the back is not visible, and you can always close later with some putty cream. In this way, when we print and dump the resin have this hole, and the hole under the arm flow out. Also, when we need to wash, the alcohol can go inside the hole, clean very good all the resin from inside, and prevent to break the parts. So remember, very important, when you hollow the model, always make some dig hole. After that one, we need to orient the model. Box have the auto orientation model that is not very good, honestly. None of this auto orientation works usually. So I suggest always to make manually. How to orient it? You need to try to find a way to make the supports don't go on the visible face. Make sure that as less part touch the bed, and tilt at 45 degrees where is possible. In this case, a good orientation is put like this on the back. Little bit tilt, so you only touch one leg here. The support, it will go on the back, so it will be less visible. And the front face, it will have very less support. This one is a good orientation. You can also make flat on the legs, but you will have more support on the face, so I will not recommend something like this one. After we oriented the model, we put the supports. Supports, we have three kinds of supports. Oh, let me remove. This is a new feature that I still didn't understand very well how it's working. It's not very good. So let me remove the generate with cross supports. Nope. Enable support show. Nope. Here. Nope. Okay. We have three kinds of supports: heavy, middle, light. Middle is the general support that probably you use most of the time when you print action figure or something like this one, because they are strong enough to support the model, but not so heavy that it will dig too much inside. Light you can use only for very small part like the face that you don't want to ruin it too much. The heavy, just put few supports on the beginning to hold all the model. Here we have a lot of settings that you can change for every support. You can see here the diagrams. But these settings we will check in another moment. When you put the support, you can select all, and Chitubox, it will put all the supports for you. Usually it's working very good, it doesn't miss anything, but can happen that something is not working. For example, now like this, the support, sorry, I put under the leg and all the part will begin. On the Chitubox Pro, you have also this nice feature here that is detection accuracy, that you can double check if it missed some island, meaning some part that is on the air and it will fail because it doesn't have a support. In this case, I find one, so I select and then check, say, look, this part is printing in the air. If you check here, maybe like this one, you can see better. There is on spot here, you see, it start to print, but there is nothing to hold. If you don't make a support here, this part, it will fail. So we need to select middle, click here, and duck. Now we have the support. After that one, I always suggest find where is the beginning of the print that he touched the build plate, in this case our feet, and put some heavy support. This one because first one here you don't see, so even if it's ruined a little bit the surface, we don't care, but adding some strong heavy support, it will increase our chance to make the print successfully. After that one, you can add some more support on the red area if you feel that is not enough, like this one, and some light on the face, in some small part that maybe can help. And this one is our Crash Bandicoot. After that, we can make all the same process with the other model. In this case, let's start with the Uka Uka mask. If you select auto orientation, it will make like this one, not very good. So the auto orientation is not very good. This one, I print like this vertical. Always a little bit more on the back, so the support will go more on the back. This one is very small part, it's not very large, so you cannot hollow. Also, even if you hollow, the wall are not larger than 4 millimeters, so it will not work. We select our support and print. This one, all the supports that will go there. Here you see it's very flat. Maybe it's better to tilt a little bit more, so we can reselect, move a little bit back. It will ask to remove the support. We see yes, just a little bit to give the chance to make better support. Here we can check first one if all the supports are in position. Yes, we can add just a few support here to help these lines to go straight. And here we are. This box looks empty, it looks full, but if you check under, this is a secret, they are empty. So this one has also this one you don't need to hollow, and this one will just print like this one, 45 degrees. Like this one, I will put the support only here. If you go to check, middle, remember middle support on everything, light support only for some small part, heavy support if you need to support something very large. For example, here, down, I will add some heavy support, so I'm sure that it will hold all the structure without any problem. Also something inside. Better safe than sorry. Check if there is some issue. It didn't find any issue. So here we go. This one, I suggest to print like this one. Oops. It's not very intuitive. Oh, here we are. Two boxes touch the only one side of the bed. Tilt a little bit on the back. It's not very simple to understand which circle to touch. Like this, I will have only support on these edges here. The platform, it will be very flat and supportless almost. Just something here. So our goal is always to put less support on the visible area. Look, for example, here, there are a lot of support. It's not good. So we can change the orientation. You can tilt a little bit more. A little bit more on the back. So the surface will not flat anymore. And it should have less support here. Okay, is less support. We can still tilt more if you want, but I suggest to don't tilt too much because after you need more support on the back. It's okay that it's less visible. This is up to you. You can even put like this one. You will waste a little bit more support, but you have less support on the box probably. See, now they are much less. This two area to support, this one middle, one and two. Let's put also here, right here. This area here, gray, that you can see on the floor is the raft, like on the FDM printer. I always print with a raft because it gives extra adhesion, and also this raft is the calling skate. If you can see on the edges is tilt up and help with the spatula to go under and remove it easily. So it helped me to keep the print more stable on the bed, and at the same time it helped me to remove from the bed. Well, but even this box we don't need now to check. This max is the same, just for sure. This small text, try to put less support as possible on the visible area, like this. This one is very small, so we don't even put the heavy, we just put some light support. And that's all. Oh, this one we don't. After that one, we need to put all the miniature in order, like Tetris. It's important to try to balance the force. Don't put all the big file one side and one smaller here. Otherwise, the bed it have more weight on this side, and it try every time to bend a little bit. So try to put the bigger file in the center where it's possible, and to balance the weight as much as you can. It will help to have more chance to don't ruin the print. For example, this one you can put like this one, so we have this big part on the center. The raft you can make one over the other one. It will make a stronger bond, so they keep stronger each other's and keep less chance to failing again. If you put like this, for example, we have stronger part on the center. On the side is empty, is okay. And we can easily print it like this one. Now, why I say that this printer is very fast? because now I want to show some difference. First one, let me save this as test. I save as STL because when I slice the file with the Anycubic, I always prefer to slice the file with sheet of box, export, and after on Photon just slice. Don't prepare the file on Photon here. Even if now they make much better, it still gives some problems sometimes to hollowing, to make the supports. It works because this one I all made with the Photon auto support. It works perfectly, but I don't know if you can see. Let me check if I can show to you clearly here. Inside, look, the supports, they make a mess. Likely I put all inside, but if this one was something that you need to check to see from the front, it will be very ugly. So the support still not very good. It works. I just put like this one and print, but I still prefer to use box to prepare my files and just use Photon for slice, because Photon has some options that only this slicer can use with the new Anycubic. So after we prepare our file, we can slice, in this case using my eSUN 0.05, sorry, a basic grade. If I print this small model, look, 12 hours, 12 minutes, 43 seconds for print this model, and it's quite standard. Now, if I open the same file with all the STL, so exactly the same file, he always asks to repair, and select the default resin. Start with the normal profile, so very basic, 0.5. Here you see you have intelligent mode. This one, it will adjust the exposure time layer by layer according to what is printing automatically. So you don't need to select anything. You just select the layer thickness, the off time, and the bottom layer. So here with the normal profile, 12 hours, 12 minutes. Here with the new Anycubic M5S, 4 hours and 16 minutes, 8 hours less. Same resolution, same resin, 0.05. But I can go even faster with the full basic resin. You have a profile that you work even faster, and it prints good because all these big files here I print in fast mode. And from 12 hours that I need with the frozen, he become 2 hours and 31. This is to show to you why I was able to print all this model in 1 week. Look, 2 hours versus 12 hours. And the quality is still very good. I show again. These one are printed in 0.5 in the fast mode. You can see the texture on the body. Look, it's perfect. And you can go even more fast if you use. Hello, Sequoid. Thank you. You can go even faster if you use the faster resin of Anycubic. For example, this is just for let you show, just pour parler. If I select high speed resin and I make 0.05, this model is become 1 hour 30 minutes. From 12 hours, 1 hour. And even if you want really go fast, you can print 0.1, because I remember, oh, I didn't show it yet, sorry, I'll make again. This one is printed 0.01, and you have all the texture. I'll say here, if I print 0.01, 0.5 with a fast resin. Heat print in 1 hour and 13 minutes. And if I use 0.1, because for some big model you can make without any problem, just the face maybe you can make 0.05. 0.1, it becomes like this. 12 hours, 45 minutes. 45 minutes to print something good like this one. Of course, you cannot print everything 0.1. So as default settings, I print 0.5 because it gives me very good quality. Now come back to the normal fast profile, that's what I'm usually using, sorry. And same settings, same files. Of course, it's different exposure, different retraction, different lift speed, because this printer, it can print fast. But same file, same resin, same resolution, 12 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes. This one is because, of course, this printer has bigger lift speed, 20. Versus here, let me check if I can show to you. This is lifting speed 60 millimeter by minute. This one is 20 by seconds. It's much, much faster. And this one is possible thanks to the new fab that I'm using, the ACF. Don't ask me what's the meaning because I forgot. That is more opaque, is more elastic, and it helps to detach very fast and print very, very fast. The cons is that this fab is make the picture a little bit more blurred. It's less sharp than the normal resin, the normal printer. But I made so many tests and I can say very simply, the difference is almost unnoticeable. It's not possible to see on normal printing. Something that is more than 4 or 5 centimeters, you will not see the difference until you don't put face to face, one next to other one, and check. I print so many Gustavo had with all the combination resolution, printer and print and material. Is not easy to find which one is which one, because the quality is almost the same. But if you need to print something smaller, more detail, this fab, it doesn't give a very good result. So if you want to print miniatures, this printer maybe is not exactly the best choice. You should remove the fab, make the normal M fab, print smaller. But in this case, I suggest directly buy some other printer that is more accurate for the miniatures. Of course, you still have the auto bed level, the intelligent mode, all the auto check settings. But this printer, in my opinion, is perfect to print something big like this, or props mask like this one. For make like something like that, this printer is fantastic. For print something smaller, I suggest you to look forward and check something else. Now, talk a little bit about photon. Why I say that photon is not good? It's good, but it's not working very good for the support and for hollowing and all the stuff. For example, if I open here a Crash Bandicoot. Crash, where is Crash? Crash. First, it has a bug that every model you need to repair, even if it's not. So don't trust. Here we have the hollowing. We select always 2 millimeters. It's also slower than any cube, than Cheeto Box. This is a free slicer. Cheeto Box is a paid version, even if the basic one is very fast, honestly. So now you see it's hollow. But look already here, it's hollow, but here is remaining one part. It has some issue. Look. What's the meaning to have this one? Nothing. It's the slicer that is not very accurate. And also when you make the supports, let's tilt a little bit, more or less like the other one. If you put, no, I don't make the holes because it doesn't matter. If you put the support medium, generate auto support, very slow. This grid I like because it's easy to remove, but look how many support you put on every part. A lot. Let me see if I have the... Here also they make, but they are less deep. But this one is just the settings. But still, look, this support on the leg. Why I need to start support on the leg? That will ruin this part. You can adjust, but still doesn't works very good. The supports box or Lychee works much better in my opinion. And also I don't have the check if there is some issue that I forgot some island. Remember that finger here, for example. Here I don't have. Here I need to check one by one, slowly, and see if I'm printing something wrong. For example, this one, look, is printing in the air. This part, it will fail because it doesn't have an anchor point, a support. It will fall down and fail the print. So definitely it's going better, but still have some issue, this slicer. The best way is prepare the file with Box or Lychee or Prusa slicer. So use another slicer for hollowing, for dig the hole, for put your support, and after you can just slice, because for slicing is working perfectly. Here on machine you have the printer, you can or any cubic printer, only any cubic. You select your printer, in this case the M5S that I lost here, and you have all the profile already mixed with the resin, and they works good. Of course, if you use any cubic resin, they have also the profile well tuned, but you can use any kind of resin. In this case, I told you I use the basic eSUN resin also for work, and with intelligent mode is working very good. Intelligent mode is working only with the default resin soft slice. So for summarize what we said today, first one, when you need to print something, open the file with 3D Builder, check if there is some issue. If there is some issue, you need to fix it. If there is no issue, you can open on your slicer, in this case in Box Pro or Box Basic or Lychee, whatever you want. First one, hollow the files that you need to be hollowed. Dig the hole on all the hollowed file. Don't forget to dig the hole or the printer will become full of resin inside. First, it becomes very heavy, and second, the print it will remaining full of resin, and after when you cure it, it will stuck inside and slowly make a crack and break it. After, make your support, and after that one you can slice the file and print. If you use a normal printer, if you use any cubic, use open photon. You need to make one this extra way and save the file. When you save the file after you finish, you can have few options, in this case with any cubic, but also with the other printers. The Frozen also should have the Wi-Fi, but it never works. When you save, my suggestion is don't save directly on the pen drive, because it can have some issue when it's saving the file and corrupting the file. I suggest always saving the file on the hard disk. After, put your pen drive, drag and drop the file on the pen drive so you're sure that you don't have any issue. Put the pen drive inside the printer, save the file inside the hard disk if the printer has, and after, remove the pen drive and print using the file in the storage SD card or whatever it is, hard disk on the printer. This one because if you print from the USB, you can have some problem with the print with the USB. Usually the USB that they give with the printer always not very good, and you can have a failing. If you copy the file inside the printer, you have less chance to have some problem. Or, for example, this printer has the remote printer, the cloud. Now my printer is offline. You can select your printer, start printing. It will upload the file in the cloud. See? And download it directly inside the printer and printing in the memory system. This one, you don't even need to use the open drive. Usually, almost all the printer now, they start to have this cloud system that works very, very good. So normally I print like this one, except when it's some very big file, like 200 megabyte, that it took forever. So in that case, I saving on the pen drive, copy inside the printer, remove the pen drive, and save the file like this one. Okay, so today it was just the basic tutorial how to add one printer on Box or Photon, how to hollow the files, how to make the holes, how to orientate the files, make the support, check everything is okay, how to export and print. This is the normal procedure when you need to print something. At least it's how I make it, and so far it's working good. You can change the way, you can change the slicer, you can change everything you want. The important is in the end that you print something. So repeat, until you're able to print something like this, in a few hours, you achieve your result. So for today, I finish here. I'm so happy about this new Resin printer. Believe me, it works so good. I love my Frozen. The detail of the Frozen Might 8K is still better, even if this one is 12K, because use the MFAB is more sharp. So if I need to print something very, very small and detailed, I still prefer to use the Frozen. But if I need to print action figure like this one, or mask, or props, the new Anycubic is fantastic. You print this one in 1 hour. 1 hour. It's unbelievable. It's like I print something with a Prusa before, and after I pass with the Bamboo or the flsun that they print 10 times faster. Instead of 450 millimeter by second, I print 400 millimeter by second. The experience was almost the same. Super fast, very good quality, all automated. Check the bed, check the resin, check the failure, exposure automatically. It do everything from by himself. I also made one unbox live on my private channel. You can find the link of my YouTube channel here. It's in Italian because it was for my friend in Italy. Unfortunately, in the end, the connection dropped. But the first 50 minutes, you can see how to unbox, how to set up the printer. I want almost make video how to use also the Beagle Cam to make the Resin labs that I make a lot. So on my YouTube channel, you can see some work, some Resin labs, and also some affiliated link to Anycubic and to Beagle's Cam. You can check there. So for today, we finish here. It looks like the connection was good. Thanks. So maybe we can recover also the live that I lost last week of Wolverine helmet that I recorded, and I will pay back these days. So if you don't want to miss the next live, that'll probably be in the weekend. Subscribe to the channel of the eSUN, thumbs up, so you can receive the notification when I will go live next time. So thank you everyone for watching me. I hope I can give you one big panoramic of this new printer, Resin printer, how it's evolving so fast. This one, it was the first of its generation, and I'm sure that soon all the other company, they will follow what Anycubic made and make something better or different, but going that direction. Also, Athena is making one Resin printer that looks like in the future printer. It has everything that I showed here, bigger and better, but the price it will be much higher. The Kickstarter is like $1,700. This one is $500, so it's also different budget. You cannot compare, but also that one doesn't have the bed level. It's all automatic, so the future is going that direction. Fast printer or automatically, and I cannot be more happy of this one. Easier is to print, more people can join to this hobby. So thank you everyone for